ahaṃ karteti ahaṃ nāhaṃ karteti viśvāsāmṛtaṃ pītvā sukhī bhava. You have been bitten by the great black serpent of egoism. I am the doer. Please drink the nectar of faith. I am not the doer, and be happy. Jiva, identifying himself with his body, mind, senses, sees, hears, smells, tastes, acts. Here, the ego which identifies oneself with one's body, mind, intellect is compared to a black serpent. Poison which a black serpent emits is compared with the action which a jiva undertakes, driven by his ego, and the effect as well as the effect and impact of such actions. All these are poison. Like the black serpent hisses, bites with his poisonous teeth, and kills a person whom it bites, the jiva, in his ignorance, approaches the world with his vasanas and ego, takes up action, and unlike the cobra which kills others, the jiva kills himself with his poisonous bite. That is, the actions performed with ego and vasanas. The dying here is his falling prey to his own actions fueled by vasanas, raga, dvesha, ityadi, which in turn accumulate karmas, and the karmas result in suffering. While the cobra bite kills a man instantly, here the jiva continues to suffer birth after birth due to actions undertaken with avidya, vasanas, kama. Ashtavakra gives the simplest possible solution to escape from such suffering, such slow poisoning, death, happening over several births. He says, come out of your wrong, mistaken notion that you are the doer. Rise above the doership, and accordingly you will rise above the enjoyership also. For this, the prescribed medicine is faith. The poisonous bite is your ego-filled actions. Your ego-filled notion that I am the doer. The antidote for this is the faith that I am not the doer. So faith is that I am not this BMI. Faith is that I am not the one who acts propelled by ego. Faith that I am not this ego at all. Faith ultimately that I am verily the divine self. It is true that faith cannot be cultivated, and it is a gift of grace. Nevertheless, it is important to believe to understand and believe, at least at the intellectual level, that one is not the doer. When such a mental assertion is made, then an aspirant in due course begins to experience a sweet nectar flowing in his spiritual heart. This faith is the nectar as opposed to the poison which arises out of one's ego, which is already explained as poison by way of sufferings due to the serpent bite of one's own actions undertaken with ego, with the notion that I am seeing, I am hearing, I am doing, I am everything. In the Vedanta, it is taught to a spiritual seeker that bondage or liberation, everything is within you, not outside you. That has been explained in the simplest possible way by Ashtavakra here, and he also confirms and affirms that the poison of ego and the impact of ego, the faith, the nectar of faith that I am not the ego, both are within you. Both are within you. Both are at your command. It is up to you which one you pick and which one you discard. Your future is shaped up accordingly. Up to you, Ashtavakra says, whether you want to suffer due to poison of your ego filled acts or enjoy due to the nectar of faith in your true self. This faith, Shraddha as we call it, the first Shraddha, faith to be developed is that I am not this ego, I am not this jiva, I am not the doer. This neti is the first faith which has to be developed, which has to be driven deep within. Once this neti Shraddha, neti faith that I am not this ego, I am not this doer sets in, then all other iti faith gradually set in. What are the iti faith? Faith in my Guru, faith in God, faith in treaties, faith in my Guru's teachings, faith in the truth in my Guru's teachings. Progressing to faith in my true identity, ahaṃ brahmasmi. Further progressing to faith in my spiritual experience of bliss. Ultimately, all these faiths culminating into the abidance in my real nature, self. Realize you are not the doer ever. You are the pure self. And thus, sukhī bhava, says Ashtavakra. Be happy. Be ever in bliss. Be the bliss ever in you. And ultimately, be the bliss yourself. And further, at the climax of the journey, be the reservoir of bliss, sukh. Be the origin of ananda, bliss. This is the journey from the neti to the iti to ultimate ease, easiness. Hari Om Tat Sat.